I got another motorcycle camera system, but it's actually the exact same one as I previously got and but this time I'm going to be putting it on a motorcycle. I thought it'd be different so I could see what the difference is between them. However, there is one difference with this one, and that is that it comes with two round cameras and no square camera. So I guess I'll see what the difference is between those two. This is the Yamaha FZ6R that I'm going to be putting the camera system on. First thing I had to do was remove the passenger seat, and then I had to remove the actual saddle and then the high-low mount for seating position. Next thing I'm going to do is disconnect this battery. So the first thing I did was I set up the display system where I wanted it, with my phone mount on there as well, since that's what I use when I'm riding. So now I have my display set up. The next thing I did was I wired up my camera. So the front camera is wired up to this display, and then I have the rear camera underneath the tank around to the side and set up through the back here. And I didn't have a whole lot of places to mount this camera, so I put it on the rear lens of the camera facing this way, and then after I get the camera set up, or rather the power system set up with the battery and I turn it on, I'll adjust these cameras to make sure that they're upside, so that they're right side up and can see the way I need them to. So the next thing I did was I took off this side flare here because I need a place for the plug. So I found that this spot right here had a pretty good amount of space for the connectors. So I drilled a hole in it and I put my switch right here, and then after I get all the wires connected, I'm going to dry run it as I go just to make sure everything fits before it goes back on. And then after I drilled it and pressed it in, I put like a whole bunch of glue on there, so when it cures, it just makes me feel like it's more secure. Is it? Probably not. So I have all three of my wires plugged in. I have it mocked up. I don't have the rest of the pins in. And then I have all my wires kind of flow freeing around. I had to find a way in to connect them to the battery. And then I'm going to give it a test run. Where is it? So the light's on. And the camera works. Now I just have to get the rest of this together and then finalize where everything is going to go and zip tie it and then put it back together, and then I have to set up the cameras. So as I'm piecing everything back together, I'm just double checking the wires to make sure they're not getting pinched or cramped or rubbed, and that way we don't have a short anywhere and everything's going to be good. Now the last thing I got to do is put the rear seat on. Put the SD card in there because it didn't come with one for the system, and then set up the cameras and see how it works. Alright, so I got it on. Everything's running like it's supposed to. Cameras are checked, rotated, and set. So now it's just needs to go for a test drive and make sure everything's still functioning after a quick run.